Okay, so today we'll install Terraform on one Linux instance and will perform most of the commands. So I'm connecting to that Linux instance. So this is a Ubuntu. Okay, so this is the Ubuntu instance. So with the uname -a, we can get the kernel version also. So then I'm going to install Docker on this. So first I'm updating the app. So then the package here is docker.io. So docker.io is the package we are installing. Okay, so now that Docker has been installed, I'm making sure that service is started or not. The Docker service is running, and even systemctl also I'm going to enable. Okay, so then like we need to run the Docker commands. Say Docker. So these all the commands we have. Okay, so try to run each and every command. Okay, so now here we have run exec, ps, build, pull, push, images, login, logout, search, version, info. Okay, so like this here we have lot of commands are there. I'm going to use Docker info. So here by default we are not using the sudo, then we don't have the permission. But without having the sudo also, how we can run, we'll discuss. Then as of now, I'm adding sudo. Okay, so here Docker info will show lot of information regarding this. So what is the version of this, context, debug mode, how many containers are running, paused, stopped, how many images we downloaded. So like this here, we have lot of details. Just go through all this by using the Docker info, what it is running. Then Docker info, sorry, version will check it. Docker version. So Docker version also will shows what is the version we have is 28.2.2 we have. So 28.2.2. That means now this Docker info, Docker version, these all we are running from the command line we are running. All these information we are running from the command line we are running. Okay. So then it's a Docker run hello world I'm using. So now here we have hello world. So what this will show, try to understand all the steps. So what it is happened is like if I use the hello world now, like unable to find the image hello world hyphen latest locally. What is that meaning? So now this Docker is not able to identify that hello world image locally. Then it is pulling from this. From where it is pulling? From where it is pulling?
Docker.
It is pulling from the Docker registry. It is pulling from the Docker registry, and that image has been downloaded. Now that is executing, and hello world is the purpose of the hello world is just executing that command and will print this. Okay, so Docker client contacted the Docker daemon. Docker daemon pulled the image, hello world image from the Docker hub. Then Docker daemon created the new container. Then, like Docker daemon started that output to the Docker client, which is sent to that. That means, like Docker hello world is a Docker related like command we are using or image is using just to make sure our Docker environment is correct or not. If the runs all this, what is that meaning is like everything is perfect with us. Okay. So what is going to happen is now in the same mission, we have the Docker client, Docker engine, and our Docker daemon. Docker daemon contacted the Docker hub. So Docker hub is a public registry where all the images have been stored, and from that we downloaded hello world. And every image we have a tag, and if you don't specify the tag, it is going to download the latest tag. It is going to download the latest tag. It is getting downloaded. What is that meaning of colon latest is? What is the meaning of colon latest? That latest image version, it is getting downloaded. If you don't give any version, by default it uses the image version is latest. Okay, so then it is going to run. Then here sudo docker ps. Normally ps will show us running containers. And if I use ps-a, it is like is going to show the not running containers also, but that container is exited. Even if the container is stopped, passed also, with the ps-a, we can see. With the ps, we can see the only running containers we can see. With the ps-a, if the containers are stopped also, we can get those details from ps-a, we can see those also. Okay, yeah, any doubts on this? What is the difference between ps and ps-a? PS shows only running containers. ps-a shows all containers. Even if the container is exited, stopped also, we are going to get those details. Okay. So then that image we have downloaded is a hello world from the Docker registry. We got it. Then Docker images. So with the Docker images, that image we are getting. So that images we are getting from that. Okay. So from the images, we can get that. What are the images we want to use? Those details we are going to get it. Okay. Then I'll run the real container. I'll try to run one Nginx kind of thing. Try to understand. So now here we have Docker CLI. From this we are running all those from the command line. Docker daemon. Then Docker registry we have. And mostly Docker info will show all the details regarding that, and Docker version. Then Docker run is the command which will create a container and start that container also. Okay, so we are giving an image while creating a container. From that image, a running state of a container is getting created. Okay, so then Docker PS will show all the running container details, but PS-A will show even if the containers are stopped, exited also, those details we can get it from PS-A. From the PS-A, we can get those details from that. Okay, so then if we want to list all the images which are locally we have, then Docker images we can do. If we want to search the images from the registry, then we can use the command Docker search command we can use. By using the Docker search command, what is the advantage? Say suppose even you want to search Ubuntu, the AMIs, we can search it, right? In the same way that we can search those images with that name from the Docker registry, it's going to search. Now here sudo docker search MySQL, I'm going to search here. Now all these are the related MySQL images we have. Okay, so these all the images where it is stored is from the registry, or we are using Docker Hub for that. Okay, so now here MySQL we have, Bitnami MySQL we have. Okay, so then I can pull that also. So now here sudo docker pull MySQL. If I don't specify any tag, by default that is using the latest and it is downloading that image. So from where it is downloading that image? From where it is downloading that image? From the Docker Hub, it is downloading that image. From the Docker Hub, it is downloading, that image is getting downloaded. Okay. So then if you want to see those, what is the option, how I can see the list of images. Say Docker images is the command. Docker images, say suppose previously we have only hello world and MySQL is that, and both are latest tags we have. Latest tags we are going to get it. Now I'll try to run one container. Okay, from the Nginx, then sudo docker run hyphen name. Name is just a tag itself. I'm giving the name as my Nginx. Then hyphen p is the publish port. So what is this? I will explain. Hyphen d is used for the detach mode and Nginx. So that Nginx is the image. From that Nginx, we are creating a container. And what is the name of that container? What is the name of that container? My Nginx is the name of the container. Okay. Even if you don't give any name also, a ID for every container, we are getting one container ID we are getting. Okay. So that container ID we can use. A container ID, we can use it. Okay. So this port we are using 8080 is the host port, and internally it's going to communicate with 80 port. On the host side, we are going to access through 80, and internally that is using, sorry, outside host side 8080, and internally it is using 80. And if I don't use the hyphen D option, okay, so D stands for detach mode. If I don't use the detach mode, the container is running in the foreground. If I use hyphen D in the detach mode, that container is running in the background, it would be running. The container is running in the background, it is running. Okay. So mostly for the production, it's not recommended to run the containers in the foreground. That is the reason we are using hyphen D, and the hyphen P stands for publish ports. Hyphen P stands for the publish ports we are going to use. So using the publish ports, we are allocating the host port. The first port is the host port. Then inside that, we have the container port. That means a small natting is happening. So we are using 8080 from the host, and that is mapping to 80 port inside the container. In that we have the Nginx, and that application is running. Okay, so I'll run the same commands in my Docker daemon mission. Okay, so try to understand. Sudo docker run hyphen name my Nginx I have given hyphen P I'm going to allocate 80 is the container port, 8080 is the host port, hyphen D is the detach, and Nginx. What is that Nginx here? What is the Nginx here?
Image.
Nginx is the image. And if I don't specify any tag, which image it is going to download? If I don't download the tag, what it is going to download it?
From Docker Hub.
Latest image it is getting downloaded. If I don't specify the tag, it is going to download the
latest
image. Then one container is getting downloaded. And that Nginx image is not done. Normally we can pull it, but if I don't pull it also, for the first time when we run that, it's going to search locally whether that Nginx latest is available. If not available, it is going to download it. From where it is downloading?
Docker Hub.
Perfect. From the Docker Hub, it is getting downloaded. Then an image is running. Sorry, container is running. How to list that running containers?
Sudo docker image.
Docker PS.
Yes.
The image will only list the images, but running containers, like 31 seconds, this container has been created. And what is this 4593? That is the container ID. Even when we create an instance, we are creating an instance from AMI, Ubuntu AMI, or like Amazon Linux AMI, Windows Server AMI, like that. Okay. Now here we use Nginx. Then that port is 4593 something. Then this is the command and created 30 seconds ago. Okay. Then these all the port mapping is happening 8080:80. Okay. So then my Nginx is the name of container, name of the container. Okay. So then that Nginx also is downloaded. Nginx also is downloaded. Now I'll go to that public IP. So this host port, what we have allocated is :8080. Normally my expectation is that Nginx page need to come, but which is blocking us? Which is blocking? That security group, we didn't open that 8080. So go to security. Say inbound rules. So we don't need to open the IP port. Host port only we need to open.
Yes. HTTP port 80 is allow from anywhere.
Now here custom TCP 8080 from anywhere. I'm opening here. Then here if I go this page,
refresh.
Yeah, that Nginx page is coming. So that 8080 is port forwarded to 80 port. Okay, so outside we given 8080. Okay, so that's we have given in the hyphen P. Okay. So now on the same mission, I'll try to install one more Nginx image itself. Sudo
Docker.
my Nginx one 8080 I can't give because already I have allocated to previous container. Now 8081 I'm giving from the host side, but that is also Nginx only. That is the reason it's using 80 itself. And this time I'm not using hyphen D. Hyphen D stands for detach mode and the same image I'm using. That means the same image. Now we can create multiple containers. Now if I don't use a hyphen D, that container is executing in the foreground. So if you see this, all the container is running in the foreground. If I use a hyphen D, that process is running in the background, it would be running.
What is the difference, detach mode or foreground, sir?
Yeah, if you don't use detach mode, it's running in the foreground itself, that container. That process is executing in the foreground. But previously it executed only in the background, it's running, that process. Now
Okay.
here, if I stop this, that container stops. Okay, so it's not recommended to run on the foreground, better to run on the background itself. That's the reason we are using hyphen D option. Now try to understand sudo docker ps if I use only one container is running which is created previously, that container got exited. My Nginx one is is exited the status. Now if we want to start it, sudo docker start, I can use my Nginx one or I can give that container
Is
ID.
ID.
Give.
Docker enable.
The docker ps now shows two containers. Okay, so if it is running in the like a foreground, like if you stop it, it exits by default. Now, if you want to open this container, like I need to open the port number. I need to open the port number.
Control custom recipe. 8081.
8081. Try to understand here. I'm going to use other ports also. That's the reason I use till 8090 I have opened.
Default route 000.
Yeah. So now here, what is this meaning is any IPv4 address we are opening. And we open the ports 8081 to 8090 we have opened.
We are given the range.
Yeah. So now here 8081. The same Nginx page will come on the 8080 container is different, 8081 container is different. But two versions of the application not on the VMs is not possible. Only on the containers we can run that. Only on the containers we can run.
Sir, we can run the two commands, Docker systemctl enable.
That is to start the Docker status. That's it.
Okay.
Other frequent restart also, that service will make sure Docker service will start.
Okay. Okay.
Now that rule has been saved. Now 8081 we are using. Okay, so now I'll try to create one. I'll try to create one like Tomcat container. I'll try to create sudo. Say Docker create, Docker run. What is the difference is create only will create the container. It won't start, but run will do both. Create plus
And start.
start also. Hence better to use run itself. Okay. So now here I'm going to use Docker run hyphen name my Tomcat hyphen p. Why I'm using 8082 at the host level is already 8080 and 8081 are in the use. So why here previously I given 80 right inside here, why I'm using 8080 here? Why I'm using here 8080?
Means 8081 also given 80 port, right?
No. Because Nginx listens on 80, yet Tomcat is listening on
88 port.
8080.
Okay.
Okay, so that is the reason we are opening here 8080. Then hyphen D stands for
Detach mode.
detach mode. Then I'm given Tomcat. If I don't give any image tag, it is going to download the
Latest image.
latest image. So now what it is doing, it is downloading Tomcat. Then run that container.
Sudo docker ps.
So this 6 seconds ago, this my Tomcat container has been created and we already open 8082, right? So normally Tomcat page will come, but to reduce the size, they have removed. But this is showing Tomcat which version?
11.01.14.
11.0.14. Okay, that is the latest version. Now I'll try to run the another Tomcat, try to understand.
Sudo docker run name. Right.
My Tomcat 9 I'm going to use. The 8083 is from the host side itself, that is available port. 8080 is inside the Tomcat port. Tomcat 9. That is the 9 is. What is that 9?
Version.
That is a tag. Is going to download that 9 version tag.
Okay.
Now first it search for Tomcat 9. We have Tomcat latest we have, but Tomcat 9 it is downloading. Now if I use 8083 here, this version is showing
0.112.
0.112. That okay, 9.0.112 we are giving here. Okay, that means technically, like both the versions are not possible to run on the same virtual machine if you install those softwares. But when we are using the containers, both the versions it can run. Means technically it can run both the version Tomcat 11 it is running, Tomcat 9 it is running. If you want to use Tomcat 8 like that also it can run. So now how many containers it is running?
4.
4 containers are getting running. Now, like I'll just type Docker. Now, like the lifecycle kind of commands, we can do start, stop, Okay, restart. We can rename the container. Okay, pass, unpass. We can kill that also, the process. Okay, so these all the commands we can perform. These lifecycle commands, what are the lifecycle commands we have is the run, create, okay, stop, start, restart. Okay, then we can kill, pass, unpass. Then we have RM. RM will remove the container. Normally, even in the instance level also, we'll do all these operations. Now we are doing at the container level. Now, what is that RM is doing is going to remove that container. I'll try to remove one container. Try to understand my Tomcat. I have given right for the first Tomcat. I'm trying to delete this, but it won't delete. You need to read it and need to tell me. So why that's not deleted? By default, RM can't remove a running container. Okay, that means what we need to do if we want to remove a running container, first stop that container, then remove that container. Otherwise, one option what we have is -F. So that's going to be forcefully removing that container. Okay, so that's forcefully removing that container it is. I hope you got it right. So what is that RM is used for? RM is used for
Remove.
remove, but a running container can't be removed. Then how we can remove that? How we can remove that?
Or
We need to use a -F. Otherwise,
-F, forcefully it will remove.
yeah, forcefully it will remove. Otherwise, what we can do? So we can stop that container and that can be delivered. We can stop that. Later we can run that. Okay, now try to understand Docker RM. The Docker PS I'll show that container is deleted. Only previously we have 4 containers. Now in the PS-A, we have hello world also is that. So total 4. This hello container I want to remove. Docker RM. This
-F.
ID I can use. So definitely I need to give here. Sudo I need to give. Okay. Then like I want to delete the image. Okay. I want to delete the image. Then the option is RMI. RM is for removing the container. But if we want to delete a running container, -F option we need to use. And RMI we are using for
Remove images.
removing the
Images.
now that hello world image I want to remove. That image got deleted. I'll try to delete Nginx. It won't delete because a container is running from that image. That is the reason it's not deleted. Still, if you want to delete, you can use
-F.
-F option. Forcefully, we can remove. Okay. So can you tell me the difference between Docker RM and Docker RMI?
Uh,
Difference between Docker RM and Docker RMI.
RMI is means image name.
Images can be
RMI is
removed.
image
The
ID.
RM, with the RM, with the RM, we are removing the containers. Stopped containers we can remove. Okay. So then here we have wait will discuss, update also, unpass, top will discuss, start, stats also will discuss, RMI we have, restart to restart the container, rename the container, then port for that, logs also will discuss, inspect also will discuss, then CP will discuss. Okay, so now like remaining we are going to discuss top, stats, logs, exec. So these also, and even we can do the CP also. We can copy the files also inside the container. Okay, so now stats will show the monitoring details. Like for each container, what is the PID, how much CPU it is taking, memory usage, what is the limit for that. Okay, net IO, all these monitoring information we are getting. So what is the purpose of Docker stats? What is the purpose of Docker stats? We can get most of the monitoring information of that containers. We can get that by using the Docker stats. This we can exit by Control C. Docker top. That particular container. Okay, so that process IDs, all those, that particular command level, how it is executing all those, we can get it by using Docker top command. Okay, then Docker logs also very powerful command for the monitoring purpose. Okay, so logs, you don't need to go inside the container, all that logs it is exporting. It is exporting all the logs to outside. It is exporting all the logs to that. So for that purpose, we are using Docker logs. Okay, so then Docker exec, so we are Docker exec we are using to enter inside the container. Okay, so I want to enter inside the container. As of now, I connected through putty to my Linux. On top of that, that container is running, but I'm in the my bash or my shell itself in the Linux. But I want to enter inside the container, enter the container bash. Then I'm going to use exec execute kind of thing, -it interact and tty mode, then container id or name. Then here we are using bin bash. So by using the Docker exec, interactive mode and TTY mode, what we are doing? What we are doing? We can enter inside the container.
Slash
Try to
bin dash shell.
yeah, that is bash mode we are entering. So now we are in the Ubuntu mission. Sudo docker exec
exec hyphen
hyphen
it
it my
my
tomcat 9.
tomcat
Instead of that, I can give that container ID
slash
also.
bin slash bash.
Bin bash. So now what I have entered is I entered inside the container I have entered. Okay. If I exit and by default, what is the user we got inside the container? What is the user we got there? So we got the root user there.
PWD.
No, root user. Okay. So here,
Yes.
if I exit this, again, I came back to my Ubuntu. That means to my Linux, I
Virtual
got it. Okay.
instance.
I want to enter inside the Nginx. Can you tell me? Exec hyphen it.
Sir, and before that you can use sudo.
My Nginx, yeah. Bin
Slash bash.
bash. Yeah. Now I entered into Nginx container. These are all the Nginx file system we have. And if I exit, again I came back to my Linux system.
Sir, I have small doubt.
Yeah.
In before command my tomcat container and difference my nginx container, whatever given the bin bash command,
Names we have.
but
That is bin bash is bash mode it is entering.
on bash shell, but here showing slash esr slash local, but here showing slash only top directory is showing
That
what is
is the working directory.
working directory. Yeah.
Which work, so normally even in AWS also we are getting slash home Ubuntu is our working directory.
Okay.
In the Nginx image, they didn't specify any working directory. That's the reason we didn't get that.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
So now we have one more command is docker cp. So what is the docker cp command is used is, say, I want to copy files from host to container or vice versa, container to host. Okay, so I want to copy some application binaries from the host mission to normally Windows to Linux, Linux to Windows, we use WinSCP kind of tool. But here we are going to use docker cp command. So what is the purpose of docker cp? So what is the purpose of docker cp? Say to copy the files from the host mission to container or container to host. So for that purpose, we are going to use docker cp. So these also will do in the next session. What are the other commands we have, we'll discuss. Update, pass, unpass, tag, start. You try to do restart, pass, unpass, kill. Logs we did. Yeah, inspect is there. Say inspect like will show more details regarding that, like maybe container level, say sudo docker ps list only the list of containers. But even if I go for docker inspect, maybe my tomcat 9, it shows lot of details regarding that. That means it's going to provide all the details regarding that container by using the inspector. Now I can give even my image also. Nginx is the image. That Nginx image details it is going to inspect. Okay, say inspect is going to show those details for us. Okay, so then like without having the sudo with the current user itself, I want to run. That means like I don't want to I don't want to use sudo for each and every command. Okay, then how to run that we'll discuss. Okay, so without having the sudo, we need to run those. Okay, so with what is the current user we have logged in? With the current, what is the user we have logged in? So we log in as the Ubuntu user, but that Ubuntu user doesn't have the permissions. Okay, so that is the reason we are using
sudo.
We are using. So now I'm going to give the permissions sudo user mod. I'm adding that user to the Docker group and -a group. The group name is Docker, and who is the current user?
Ubuntu.
Ubuntu. Okay, so sudo user mod -ag. Docker is the group name and Ubuntu. Otherwise, what I can do is that environment variable, the dollar is the environment variable like we can use, and the user is that. Okay, so that means if we don't know the user name Ubuntu, that environment variable we can use. Then I'll try to run that, but still like we'll get the same error. What we need to do is we need to exit, again login.
Ubuntu.
Okay, after we log off only, that is going to be reflected. I no need to use that.
Sudo.
So now without having, that means that existing user we have added to the Docker group by using the user mod. Then with that we got these options. Okay. So mostly these all the commands. I'll share that in the chat. Okay. Yeah, please download that.